Today's episode involves murder. It does. And so the business was started where people could board their cats, and it ended up being an interesting mix of characters. Now you think about that when you go into business and you want to board people's cats. Well, who would do that? It's not as common as you think. And so Charley decided he would go into business with this concept. And what happened was, there was a market for people who wanted to board cats, vacations, all sorts of reasons. And Charley did well. He had some good clients. All his clients were happy to have him take care of their cats for the duration of the need. And he did well. And he had some repeats. And some would come, and some would go, and some would come, and some would go. But there came to be a group of core cats that just decided to hang around. Didn't even know where they come from. They just showed up. So you got those cats, and they became kind of like the caretakers of the establishment. And so you can imagine what sort of problems you might encounter if your environment was full of privileged cats, cats of different backgrounds and expectations of what the world should provide for them. And some had some very distinct personalities. For example, when Charley came in to wash his face from waking up, there was a bluebird, partially shredded, just beneath the toilet. Someone will attend to that shortly, but first we must find out who the bird belongs to. My guess is it belongs to Miss Sapphire. I've been observing Charley's kitty parlor for quite some time, and I can assure you, I know the cats well, especially the regulars. So I decided to tell the world about what my observations were, as I am of the employ as, shall we say, a handyman, to pick up after all these cats, and that's my job. And I decided to just wear a camera and a microphone, mainly a microphone, sometimes a camera, and tell the story, because the cats at Charley's kitty parlor simply aren't your ordinary cat. As you will see if you continue to listen. At Charley's kitty parlor, there has been a grievous act, is that one of the boarding cats, all of them, of course, boarded by famous, prominent, powerful people who pay quite a premium to have their cats boarded here. We try not to take that into account when we deal with the issues around the parlor. And as you know, I am the caretaker. And there was a bluebird, a beautiful bluebird, partially shredded. Yes, I had walked into the bath and saw a partially shredded bluebird, a beautiful bird, had met its demise and was left here in the bath. I immediately called the authorities. Yes, I'm Lieutenant Bimbo. I came to investigate what you called for, sir. Oh, come on in, Lieutenant. So I'm Lucas. All right. Nice to meet you, sir. Yes, Lieutenant, what happened, I'll take you down the hall here. Right here in the bath, just adjoining my room. And there you see it. Goodness. That's incredible. Yeah, it's a bluebird. Yeah, it's a beautiful bird, sir. A very beautiful bird. Yes, he is. Blue and brown, white tuft. Poor fellow. Very obviously a case of murder, sir. You can see the attack wounds right here, the claw marks. Looks like here where it was compressed, it's like it was in something like a vice grip, perhaps. Like a cat's mouth would be a good possibility, sir. So you think one of these cats did it, sir? It's a possibility, Lieutenant. A distinct possibility that one of my guests has taken care of this deed. I would appreciate it if you would do what you can. Yes, sir. We'll make sure we find out what happened, sir. In the meantime, let's make sure no one comes in here. We'll need to look at that later. Yes, Lieutenant. So how many cats do you have currently boarding? You got Lefty, you got Tiger. So there's 5 cats boarding. I can see 3 or 4 laying around. Yes, that's Tiger right there, Lieutenant. He's the big cat. I call him the security guard. He's a local. He's not a boarder. Comes and goes. And there's Lefty there. His adult works in Vegas. Big-time Vegas casino owner. You've got Miss Silky, a recent boarder, and she was just here, Lieutenant. Would you like to observe any of their behaviors? Oh, sir, I presume you would know as much as watching. It's obvious the bird was captured, and that would have been outside. Why was the bird brought to the bathroom? Well, that's a good question, Lieutenant. Normally, they would leave those sort of trophies by the back door, perhaps the kitchen. Seen all sorts of things in that regard, but it was the bathroom that got my attention. Why would they take it there? Well, sir, more than likely, if we can find out which of our guests would have chosen to take such a prey to the bathroom right here, then we'd probably be close to finding out who did it. We know they came in through the bedroom, had multiple opportunities to put the trophy or the bird where they would normally do so, and it's normally not that far from when they come in. This bird was brought to almost the rear room, down the hall, and dropped in a bathroom. It looks like, sir, it's going to be a matter of finding out which cat spends the most time in the bathroom. Have you observed anything odd? Well, Lieutenant, there's several examples. If I walk into the bath, and I've seen Miss Sapphire there. They like to sit on the counter by the sink. But Poncho's been there occasionally. He's usually on the floor. But the Miss Silky has gotten and had a lot of fun with the bathroom tissues there. I can understand. So Miss Silky's so they've all been in there. So that's not really eliminating it very much. Okay, sir, I think I've seen all I need to see for now. Well, sir, I'll be going now. It looks like I would recommend that you just go about your regular routine. Don't try to figure anything out. We've got pictures. The boys might come back down to ask a few more questions, but it looks like we've got everything we need. If I need to come back I'll be in touch. Thank you, Lieutenant. Thanks a lot. Goodbye. Well, at least we're going to get to the bottom of it. One way or another, we're going to find out which cat brought that bird to the bathroom. So go about your normal activities, he said. And that's Miss Silky, who is wanting a treat. Well, maybe we could get them together here. There you go, Miss Silky. Here, Mr. Poncho. Now, Mr. Poncho here is his adult is an actor, a very famous one. And it seems as if their personalities tend to wear off. So go about your normal activities, Lieutenant Bimbo says. But it seems odd. They would have brought the bird all the way in the bathroom. And I haven't seen a cat go in there yet. There must be some solution. You see here at the bed and breakfast, for the most privileged felines you can imagine, it's always something interesting. Today, we have our case of murder. A beautiful blue jay, right before the spring, has been brought to its end. And I'm quite sure one of you is the guilty party. Quite sure. Mr. Poncho, what do you know about it? Doesn't look like the type. Poncho's only brought in a trophy once since I've known him here. I have my suspicions. Well, if I had my guess, I would say that the guilty party was Miss Silky. That would be my guess. Well, it's 5 o'clock. It's almost time for the evening feed. Here at Charley's Kitty Parlour, it's always something. 5 of the most privileged and opinionated cats that you could imagine. And of course, they must be made happy. Unfortunately, Mr. Blue Jay doesn't have that option anymore. So someone in this house has committed an atrocious act. Detective Bimbo didn't seem as if he had very much of a clue. So perhaps it will be up to me to solve this mystery, if it has a solution indeed. Well, there you have it. Your first experience with Charley's Kitty Parlour, a bed and breakfast for very privileged cats. So who was the guilty party here? Well, it turns out it was Miss Silky after all. You see, it wasn't much of a mystery to me, and I knew it was Miss Silky, but I tried to keep Lieutenant Bimbo somewhat in the dark because I didn't want her to get in trouble. Seems that her adult It's a very famous actress as well, and a singer, and it seems that her privilege has carried over. And so Miss Silky most likely was the guilty party. But officially, it has been resolved as an accidental case. Simply an accident. And it certainly was, and a tragic one for our dear blue jay, as we love our birds as much as anything else around here. Thanks for joining us on Charley's Kitty Parlor. We'll have other stories to tell as these creatures are constantly creating havoc.